All right, family, welcome to the conversation today. The first guest today is attorney Jenny McNeill. She is running for judge here in Muskegon County. No stranger to the political scene. She's ran before. Attorney Jenny McNeill, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Now, to folks who don't know, you currently have I guess, a role that is similar to being a judge, right?
Right, right. I'm a what we call a family court referee. So it's a judicial officer. So I do hearings right now in the 14th Circuit Court for I do the juveniles who commit crimes, the neglect and abuse cases like the removals, and custody, child support, parenting time, all that things. And then people, if they don't like my recommendations, then they can object and have a hearing before the judge on those issues.
Okay, so what separates you from a judge?
Essentially, I can't do jury trials, and and I'm only family issues. So, but yeah, it's jury trials. We can't do jury trials. And if people want to go in front of the judge, want to skip the referee, they can ask to do that and go right before the judge. They don't get a choice to skip the judge, you know, but they
Okay.
can ask. They can ask. They usually it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes it does.
So, do you have attorneys in your? Is it a courtroom or a regular room?
Yep, it's a hearing room. Different counties have it different ways. We have a hearing room. It's a little bit smaller than the regular sized courtroom. But yes, and so we have teams of attorneys. So, like for example, um, I'm assigned to a particular judge. I'm assigned to Judge Hoekstra, and so I generally do her cases. And then we have a prosecutor, a public defender, a guardian ad litem, and then contract attorneys that are assigned. So for the neglect and abuse and the juvenile cases, we have a team. For the other cases, sometimes people have attorneys representing them, sometimes they don't. Just depends on, the individual.
Okay. Let's talk about your qualifications. How long have you been an attorney?
I've been an attorney. It'll be 26 years this fall that I've been licensed. I graduated law school in 1996 and started working right away at a legal aid, actually in Illinois. I worked there for 2 years and then I came back to Michigan, came right here to Muskegon. It was 1998 and started working at legal aid right here in Muskegon. So I did that for a number of years and then I switched into private practice. It was Lattice Hoops McNeill Law, did a lot more different, kind of varied my areas of law a little bit. And then this is my fifth year now as a family court referee. So I've got a lot of experience here in this county. I've represented thousands and thousands of people in all sorts of areas, including the areas that a circuit court judge covers.
So, what would be? So, you're done criminal, you're done civil, you've done all probate, you've done all that.
Yes. Yes, I've done
Wow.
all areas of law and more. I've done immigration issues. I've done social security issues. I've done all sorts of issues. Just depending on where I was working and then what was going on. I have probably my most experiences in family law, simply because, especially when I went into private practice, that was where most of the referrals that I got. I like doing family law, and so I've had a lot of family law clients. So that tend to be like my main area, but I've done all of the other areas also.
Well, so what made you decide to run for judge again?
Well, I think I saw a need for someone in this position. There's a lot of change happening now, right? We've had, Judge Hicks retired, and then we're having a brand new judgeship being added, and then now we have Judge Marietti. So a lot of change. And so I think there's a need to have someone like me who can walk in and kind of hit the ground running. Like, I've got the experience. I've run trials. I've had hearings on a regular basis, and so I can walk in and hit the ground running and help us kind of move Muskegon County forward. So I think that's the one thing that I bring that none of the other candidates have. They don't have that experience. It's not as easy as it sounds to be in charge of the courtroom and try to make decisions. I take very seriously the decisions that I make for families, and I spend a lot of time on my professional development. it's one of those weird things. Attorneys in Michigan, we don't have to do any kind of continuing legal education, not required at all, which to me is crazy. Like, how do you stay up on the law if you're not continually trying to educate yourself? So I have always been involved in that. And then I've really especially taken that on and starting when I started as a referee, because in some of the areas I didn't know as much about as others. And so I really kind of dug in. I've done incredible amounts of training. That's, I suppose, the upside to this COVID thing. There's so many Zoom trainings now that are offered. So, I've done it, whether it's on my lunch hour or, whenever I can do it, I'm learning about, not only things like unconscious decision making, making sure I'm not being biased in the decisions that I'm making, to things like just the general things about neglect and abuse law, about our Indian child welfare laws, just really trying to make sure that I know what I'm doing. I think it's really important that person sitting in that chair making decisions knows the law, and so I spend a lot of time making sure that I do know it.
Now, so who is Jenny McNeill? Where are you from? Where'd you go to college at?
Okay. So I grew up a couple of different spots, moved around a little bit as a kid. In third grade, my parents moved to Mason, Michigan, which is just outside of Lansing. It's a little bit of a joke in my family because my dad moved there because it's not too far from Michigan State. So his thinking, he's a Spartan, and his thinking was that he was adamant that my sister and I were going to go to college, and we could live I could live at home and go to college, right?
Right.
So that was his plan for me. I went to Michigan. So go, go blue,
Right.
kind of, So I did my undergrad at Michigan, graduating in 1993. I started as a political science major, ended up switching, and got my bachelor in American culture. And so then, with the goal to go to law school. So then I went to law school at Northern Illinois University College of Law. I picked there because it was the most affordable. I kind of knew in my mind that I wanted to go into public service. And so I needed a law school that wasn't going to break the bank. So, and I really liked it there. So I graduated from there in 1996. I had been fortunate while I was in law school. I had the opportunity to intern at both the King County Public Defender's Office and the Prairie State Legal Services, and kind of decided that I wanted to go with Prairie State Legal Services, worked there for 2 years, and then came here. So that's kind of my educational history. Personally, I am been married to my husband. I met my husband in law school. I've been married now, oh my goodness, it'll be 25 years this next month. I have
Right.
two wonderful boys. I have a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old who just graduated from high school at Mona Shores. Super excited that he turned 18. Of course, we got him registered to vote, right?
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
and I'm excited for him. He's heading to Grand Valley in the fall. He wants to learn Spanish. He will learn it better and be a Spanish teacher and then come back here. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about that because I want him to come back. I think
Right.
Muskegon is a fantastic place. I love Muskegon and would like him to come back. So that's my education. That's my family. What else do you want to know?
Well, I'm asking more specific questions about being a judge.
Okay.
How do we increase minority participation in the jury pool?
Oh, that's a really good question. Um, I think a lot of it right now, they base it on um, your being registered to vote, is my understanding. I think we've got to get more people registered to vote. I think that would solve actually a lot of our issues was if we can get folks to register to vote. So I think it's really going to be grassroots kind of in the community, trying to get more people registered to vote, because I think it'll be important two ways. One, I think that will increase our jury pool, get more people, or we can expand it out to anybody with a driver's license. We need to we need to expand it better. I think we also can increase. I don't necessarily have the power to do it, but I'd like to see us, kind of the stipend, make it more worth people's while because they have to miss work, right?
Right.
And that creates problems. So I'd
Right.
like to see us put more of a value on that so that we can have more people. Because I've heard of people, they're like, I'm gonna make up some excuse so that because I can't miss work.
Need the
So I
money.
think, right. So I think we need to we really need to be pushing to get more people involved in the system. And then we need to make it more valuable to them, to
Right.
be part of the system, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Jenny McNeill is here. She's running for judge here in Muskegon County. Your website. What is the website for people to connect and learn more about you?
Jenny for Judge. JennyForJudge.com is my website. So you can find a lot of information about me. You can also contact me through the website. And yeah, and the Facebook, McNeill for Judge is the Facebook. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, we fancy.
I like that. Yeah.
Yes. So,
So
is Jenny your real name or is it Jennifer or what?
it's Jenny. I know people, I answer to just about anything as long as it's not a swear word. Um,
Okay.
because
Right.
people just think it's Jennifer or whatever. But no, my mom did not like the name Jennifer. She liked the name Jenny. So it's Jenny Lynn. But generally only my mom calls me that.
Well, let's talk about some of your endorsements. You got
Okay.
quite a few endorsements there. I see Judge Ruck, retired judge, Sonia Hernandez,
Yes.
community leader, Bill O'Brien, superintendent for Mona Shores Public School, Andy O'Reilly, the mayor of Facebook, the mayor of Norton Shores,
Yep.
and I don't want to mess up his name, but
Oh,
educating
yeah,
director.
Trent. Yes, Trent is on there. There's more too. I think I probably haven't updated my website. I probably should. I'm really happy. I have Judge Hoekstra has also endorsed me. She's been one of my she's the judge that I work for. Tony Malatziotis has endorsed me. He's our county treasurer. I've got several of our Norton Shore City Council people, Jamie Sawa, Mike Hilland, Nancy Crandall, Sheriff Carter,
Oh wow.
Jennifer Barnes, Ken Mahoney and his wife KP. So yeah, a lot of people. I mean, for me, I've been around a long time. I've
Right.
been here in Muskegon, and some of the other candidates have some great qualities. But for me, yes, I wasn't born here, but I moved here, and I've really, I've raised my family here, and I've really dug into the community and tried to make, the community better in whatever ways that I could do it. And sometimes it's a really easy way, right? You can
Right.
go and clean up neighborhoods, those kinds of things, or clean up the lake, whatever. And some of them are really tough. They're tough things that I've tried to do. One of the things that um, in retrospect, I'm really glad was when, and you've probably heard me talk about this with the Muskegon Family Care. I mean, I received a phone call, it was Christmas, and I'm thinking, I want to spend time with my family. And I get phone calls, Jenny, they're in trouble. Can you help? And I say yes, because that's generally what I say when people need help. That's what I like to do. I like to help people. And so I'm really excited because the community and lots of people in this community really rallied around Muskegon Family Care. And things are just so much better. And doing so, it was a lot of work and a lot of, I don't know, I could probably say begging even people
Right.
to, we can't let this, it's too important. It was too important to let it go without a fight. And so I'm super excited because I think we've hired a great director who's just been fabulous. Our budgets, we're just going in the right direction. I'm really excited with if you saw the budget, we got $3 million. Muskegon Family Care got $3 million. And that was because people working together.
That's good.
Both of our state representative, Terry Sabo and John Bunstead, they both deserve credit for working hard for Muskegon Family Care. So that's the kind of, I guess, in terms of that's the kind of person I am. When there's a problem, I like to try to solve it. I get frustrated when I can't, but I'm always willing to work hard to try to figure it out. And I approach problems with the idea that, everybody, that collaboration and communication is really the way to go. And that's just how I am. Let's work together and let's make things better. And if we do that, then we have a better community for everybody, right?
Right. Right. How do you feel about your chances? I think you came in third or fourth last time.
Yeah, I was in third place by like 111 votes. So
Right.
that's a big motivator. There's days when I keep thinking 111 votes. Did I did I reach 111 people today?
Right.
So I can just say, there are great candidates in the race with me, and I can just say that I am working hard. I spent a lot of time learning how to do it better, and have some really awesome people who've been supporting me. And so I'm giving it my all. I have a vision. I have a goal. My goal is just to make things better. That's all. That's all
Do
I
you
want
like
to
your
do.
chances? You like your chances?
I, you know, I don't, I hate to say, I don't want to like jinx myself.
Sure.
I don't, I, I don't know.
You don't want. Okay. You don't have to answer, Jenny. You don't have to answer. You definitely ran. You ran a clean campaign, and,
Yeah.
and you stayed out of the mud that's
Yep.
been that's been out there. And I commend you on that. And you ran a clean campaign last time. So,
Yes.
how
Yep.
can people reach? How can people reach you?
Mainly through my website right there. There's a contact button right on the website. That's probably the easiest way. It's got this little button. It comes right to the email. So that's probably the best way. Sometimes on Facebook too, you can message, but I love that little contact button. And people have been doing it. People sometimes with questions, or they want to sign, um, or just want to volunteer. It works great. It's a neat little gadget. So
Wow.
that's the best way.
All right. Thank you so much. We might call you on election day. We might call you on election day to check in with you on the campaign. Where are
Okay.
you going to be at watching the results come in?
I'm most likely just be hiding at home. I just probably just with my family, just kind of hanging at home, and probably because I think it's going to be a while. I think there are a lot of absentee this year. A lot of requests have been made for absentee ballots, so I think it's going to be a while
Right.
before we know. So, yeah,
All right.
just gonna
And
work the best I can and pray hard, and that's all I can do.
thank you for joining us. We'll call you next week, Tuesday, during election day. And God
Great.
bless you, and much respect for you.
Great. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing and talking to all the candidates. I think it's fabulous.
We're doing our best to get them on, the
Yep.
ones who will come on. So,
Yep.
all
That's
right.
fantastic.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care. All right. Going back to more music.